child. I am an alcoholic. So basically, how I got here is alcohol progressively ruined my life. Basically, I was treating my family, my wife, and my kids with complete disrespect. It just eventually alcohol turned me into a very, very bad person. Yelling at my kids all the time, very irritated all the time, and putting hands on my wife, which I never thought I would do. And my wife had had enough at one point. So one day I got home from work, and she asked me if I wanted to go out to happy hour, and I said, "Sure, let's go." We jump in the car, and she said, "Well, hold on, we need to make a pit stop at your parents' house." So I had a complete fit over that because all I wanted to do is go to the bar, of course. Acted like a total kid and had a conniption fit. So we get up to my mom's house, and I walk in, and there is my whole family, her whole family, and a guy that I didn't recognize in the corner, and it was an intervention, and I knew what it was right away because my cousin Jordan was there, and he's been in recovery for 10 years. So when I walked in the door, I knew that it was somewhat of a spiritual awakening because I knew at that point that this was my chance to get out of the life that I've been living for 28 years. And, you know, I played a big role. I pretended like I was mad, and I pretended like, oh, poor me, like most of us do. We're selfish. And I pretended like it was the worst thing ever. But inside, I knew that this was my time to make a change because for so long that I wanted to quit drinking, but I just couldn't. Mentally, it had me stuck in a position where it just kept bringing me back, even though I didn't want to drink. It just mentally, the mental obsession kept bringing me back every single day. So inside, I knew that this was my chance, and I was willing to do whatever it took because they were threatening to take my kids away. My wife was going to leave me, so I basically would be homeless, and I wouldn't have my kids in my life, and I'd be divorced. So I did what any rational husband and father would do: is I took advice from the interventionalist, and I agreed to go to detox first of all, and I agreed to do a 28-day in-house treatment because I love my kids and I love my wife, so I was ready to do it. Um, so I sat through all the stories that they were telling me. My whole family had stories, and I actually got mad at the interventionalist. He wanted to talk, and I had a super bad fit about that. I threatened him. I told him I didn't know him. I was basically ashamed, and I didn't want to hear anything he had to say. So he stayed fairly quiet throughout the whole process. Um, I said something, and he smirked at me, and I stood up, and I wanted to fight him because that was my defense. I didn't have any defense at that point. Again, I was just being super selfish. But most of that was an act. If we're being real, it really was. I wanted it, and I needed it. So I actually walked out of the intervention, um, and my cousin followed me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here for you. If you want to make a decision right now, if you don't want to do it, that's you. If you do, that's on you too." And I told him, "Yeah, I really want to do this." And so we walked back in the intervention, and you know, everyone's crying and stuff, and I said, "Okay, let's do it. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to do this thing." And I wanted to leave, so they agreed that it was okay to leave. And I guess they stayed long afterwards talking about it. And Jordan and I left, and we went home to my house, and I went had my last hurrah with alcohol. That was March 8th of 2019. And I packed my bag, and he drove me to the detox center. I was gonna spend at least 6 to 10 days there, and actually saw when I opened the door to pull my suitcase in the door. I actually saw the interventionalist that was there that did my intervention, and he asked me if I needed help with my bags, and I said, "No, I got it." And I actually made an amends with him right there before I even know what an amends was. I said, "Hey, I'm sorry how I acted, and hope you accept my apology." And he's like, "Yeah, man, he gets it. It's a hard situation. It's very humiliating, but and we're actually friends today, um, which is pretty amazing." So I get into the detox center, and I didn't really know what to expect, but I get in there, and there's drug addicts and alcoholics in there, all ages, men and women, and I started judging myself with others. I didn't think I was as bad as other people because there was heroin addicts in there that couldn't even stay awake, and there was old guys there that were alcoholics that were shaking, and I didn't have those things. I just drank myself. My tolerance got so high that I just needed more and more and more to get to that level that got me to where I wanted to be, which was complete obliviation. But I judged everybody, and I didn't think I was an alcoholic. I just thought I was doing this to get my family back and to quit drinking. So I did about 6 days in the detox, and although I was only on Librium for like 2 days, and they let me go after 6 days, and I went to an in-house treatment for 28 days out in Turner, Oregon, and out there it was pretty amazing because I really I really focused on myself for the first time in my life, and I realized what I how I grew up and what I did my whole life, like how selfish I really was. Before I didn't really understand that, and I started understanding alcoholism and drug addiction and how it affects the emotional side of the human, and ways to try to fix that. The 28-day treatment center, I found myself, and I realized what I needed to do, and um, so I did 28 days there. It was a lot of fun. We did a lot of working out and games and yoga and group therapy. I learned how to practice humility in that treatment center. I learned how to speak in front of people, which I was never good at before. I was going to do 14 days in the treatment center, but someone suggested that I do 28, so I did because I was willing to do whatever it took to get sober and to have a happy life with my family. Um, so when I was done with that 28 days, I wanted to do like a month of outpatient here, and they suggested to do 4 months, and I go, okay, yeah, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So that willingness was there from the very beginning for me, because, as they say, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Um, I was sick of being numb. I was sick of drinking. So, of course, I was ready to do whatever it took. So I did a 4 month outpatient here at OTR, and it was great. I met a lot of good people. Um, one person in particular, Curtis, aka Squeaks, we call him. Um, this kid, man, he turned my life around. Like the stuff that he was my counselor here. He turned my life around. The stuff that he told me and helped me with. He helped me get closer to God, which I never was anywhere near spiritual in my life before. He helped me work on my character defects, my shortcomings, and my road rage, which I had, and he just helped me work on the things that I really needed to work on. He's really good at that. And I've seen him change a lot of lives, and I'm eternally grateful for Curtis. He's an amazing dude. Um, and he told me, he asked me if I was doing AA, and I said, well, kinda. And he asked me if he's heard of SIS Men's Group, and I said no. And he said, "Well, you check it out. It's on Wednesdays." And I did, and that's his home group, and that's my home group now. And in there, those guys changed my life even more. The way they work on their recovery and you know joke around at the same time is amazing because I've been to other meetings and some of it's just old guys that say the same thing, that call on the same people and talk about the same thing. But in this group that Curtis showed me, we have fun and we have a good time and we laugh, and at the same time we take our recovery very seriously. And that I knew right there that was a meeting for me. That's the recovery that I want to have. I don't want to be angry. I didn't get sober to be angry, so or miserable. So again, I'm eternally grateful for Curtis and what he's shown me and what he's taught me in this life of recovery. Today, next month, I'll celebrate 2 years if I make it there, with God's grace, and I'm still doing the same thing that I did when I first got in here. I'm still willing to grow, even though I'm almost 2 years in. I'm still willing to go to meetings every single day. They say if you drank every day, you go to a meeting every day. I'm still willing to have a sponsor. I'm still willing to work the steps for the third time now. And that doesn't make me cool or better than anybody else. I don't want to be stagnant. I don't want to be mad. I don't want to be angry. And once that anger starts showing up or irritability starts showing up, I know I have to put in some work because I don't want to go back to that lifestyle anymore. And because I'm reminded all the time, just by my actions, and my brain tells me that I want to snap at my kids or I want to argue with my wife, but I got to be humble and realize that I'm being selfish and that's my old ways, and I don't want to be like that. It's very hard. It's not easy being in recovery, but if you put in the work and you know get a sponsor and work the 12 steps of any A program, your life will change.